things, which we have much evidence that they do engage in
No,
those.
you don't.
those
The
activities.
Israelis are retaliating against an attack that was made on them in their country on October the 7th. It's a war.
So
They
you're
have a right to defend
October
themselves.
7th didn't happen in a vacuum, gentlemen.
Do you think they have the right to defend themselves, Israel?
Sure, right? I do agree.
You're all for social justice, right?
But
So
this
you
didn't
should-
happen in a vacuum. October 7th wasn't the beginning of this. I mean, we could talk about the 2,000 plus children that die simply of malnutrition.
You've got to behave in a way, you know, you can't be, they're behaving like savages. You can't go around killing innocent people. Israel could come and wipe out Gaza in a couple of days, but they won't do that. So
That's
you've got to have
wild
it. You can't,
that you would relate to them as savages. I mean, that's quite literally the same thing that...
Well, what, raping women and just shooting innocent people? They're savages.
That seems savage like that.
But we have we have just as much evidence to prove that the IDF soldiers did the same thing.
You haven't.
But we do.
Sorry, Patrick, sorry, where is the evidence that IDF soldiers raped people and beheaded babies? Where's that evidence?
Well, there's no evidence that babies were beheaded by Hamas.
Yes, there is.
But there's not. As a matter of fact,
dozens and
All right, well,
dozens
you know what about
of
the rapes
journalists
then? We
sat
know
in a
rape.
room to watch exactly that happening on body cam,
We know.
often that were worn by Hamas terrorists.
And we know rape
Come on.
happened.
Stop rewriting.
I don't
history,
know.
Patrick.
I'm
Let's
not.
be
I'm not
sensible.
rewriting history, and it's kind of
are.
upsetting, right?
No, you're not. You're denying history, is what you're doing.
I'm also not denying history.
Yeah,
I'm
you
also
are.
not denying history.
Because you're now saying there's no evidence that Hamas committed the atrocities they did on October the 7th.
Okay, but there's okay. Let me ask you a question. Say it were true, right? Say that were true. Why is it that Israel? Okay, that's your opinion, right? Say that Israel.
It's a fact.
It's from the Hamas
It's
body
not
cams.
hang on.
According to you.
Patrick, it's
According
not
to
an
you.
opinion.
No,
it is
according to you.
Body cams that they said.
Why is it then Israel won't allow independent an independent group to come in and investigate this then?
Why should they? Why would any country allow that? It's a democracy.
It's already been
not a
investigated.
rule of
If-
law.
If you're using that as your justification to
not like
end the
Gaza,
lives
it's not
of
a
tens of
authoritarian
thousands of women
government.
and children, if you're using that as a
Actually,
justification to end the
let's,
lives of tens of
Would
thousands of women and
America
children,
allow an independent one to come and investigate them? Would the UK allow it? No, of course not.
Okay, but
We've got our own system of justice.
Patrick, let's not go round and
if
round
we
and
were
round. Let me ask
committing
you
a
question. Do you
G-side,
think-
if we were
Patrick,
committing a genocide,
Patrick,
yes,
hold on. This is
an
not your
independent
show.
investigation would be
committing a
necessary.
Do you think
not
Hamas
committing a
should?
genocide.
Do
They
you
are.
think Hamas should immediately release the Israeli hostages?
I think that Israel should immediately release the lands that they've occupied.
No. That wasn't the question. We can come on to that if you want. But first things first, do you think that Hamas should release the 116 Israeli hostages that they've been holding for 10 months?
So listen, I would only say that they should agree.
I think it's a yes or no.
But it isn't,
no,
because
isn't it?
we both
It's a
understand there's
yes or
much
no.
more nuance to
Of
these
course it's a yes or no.
conversations than
How
that.
can it not be a yes or no? What, by not answering yes or no, you're basically saying no.
Well, then yes, then the answer would be no in the fact
Wow.
that.
So you don't think those 116 children and
Babies.
adults and babies
Holocaust
should be
survivors.
released by the terrorists that are holding them and have them? For
I
10
don't
months?
think that anybody should be held
Wow.
as a hostage. I don't think that anybody should be
That's
held
not
as a
what you just
hostage.
said. You
But
said
there's
that they
You
shouldn't
think
be
they should be released?
You just said they shouldn't be released.
unless, right, there's concessions from Israel. Unless Israel concedes to releasing the land and releasing the hostages that they've been holding.
What land? What you think Israel should vacate the entire state of Israel?
I didn't
Just so
say
they
that.
They can get their hunt. Well,
No, I
what are you
didn't say
saying?
that. I didn't say that.
What are you saying?
I didn't say that.
So,
So
what land?
So did you just see the report that just came out from the ICJ?
Oh yeah, the International Court of Justice. Yeah.
Correct.
Because they're
Oh, the
always
U-
on Israel's
the
side.
UN, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always
So
on
and what
Israel's
is
side.
the ICJ's ruling?
These are the same people that want Netanyahu prosecuted for war crimes. When
He
all that man
absolutely
is doing
should
is
be.
defending his people.
And
No,
It's the
he's
UN.
not.
They were part
Hold
of
on. So
the
you're
raid,
telling
yeah,
me,
man.
gentlemen, you're telling me the most
So you don't think
technologically.
Hamas should be prosecuted in any way for beheading babies, but you see,
Gentlemen,
you
you're
think
telling me the most
Netanyahu, as a head of
technologically
state, should be
advanced-
prosecuted for defending himself.
Well, if you're just going to railroad the conversation, friend, like I should have a chance to
don't wanna
retort, should I
railroad it,
not?
but I'm just trying to get a sense of.
So you're telling me the most technologically advanced military the world has ever seen doesn't have the ability to go into the country and only target Hamas? That all of this
Not when they're
collateral
holding
damage
babies
is
in-
necessary?
under
That is in
hospitals
fact a
and doing
war
their best.
crime. Who built those
they've
tunnels?
only-
Who built those
The
tunnels?
ratio of innocent kills is 1-to-1, which is unprecedented. Other armies are studying how Israel are killing so few innocent people, and they're basically their
Patrick,
bases are under hospitals and schools.
Who is
Patrick,
reporting
we know
this?
where those-
Only Israel is reporting this
Patrick,
information.
We know where the hostages are held. They're held.
Only
in
Israel is
civilian
reporting this
houses.
information.
It's not.
This
You look at
one-to-one
Colonel Richard
idea.
Kemp, former head of British forces in Afghanistan. You look at all the military experts from democratic armies.
Let's ask the question a different way, Patrick. If those hostages were held just in a camp in isolation on their own, not surrounded by civilians, why haven't the IDF got them back?
If they were held just by civilians, is what you're saying?
No,
Like
no.
held
What I'm
among
saying is
civilians.
if they
Held
were
among
if they were-
civilians.
No, if they were not, if they are, as you're indicating, just held in incarceration, not surrounded by civilians, the IDF would have.
I never
gone
made that
months ago and
assertion.
got them out.
I never made
Well,
an
no, but
assertion
why
as to
haven't
where
they?
they're being
So
held.
therefore, my point is they are clearly embedded within the civilian population, which is why the IDF have had to show constraint.
Why aren't civilians allowed in the shelters? Because then they wouldn't need to be killed. They could be in their tunnels. They're hundreds of miles.
Why
of tunnels,
should we
totally
be-
protected. They won't be allowed in the tunnels. by
Why
Hamas,
should we be
'cause it's
bombing large areas knowing that the vast majority of those people are going to be women and children?
They're not. They're doing very accurate smart bombs. They're being
Patrick,
accurate.
They
started
couldn't
this
be that
conversation-
accurate. They couldn't be that accurate when the vast
As accurate
majority
as
of
is
people
possible, yeah.
that are being
Patrick,
unalived.
Accurate as is
How do you
possible.
determine
When we
after somebody's
started-
unalive that they're a
Killing
member
the
of
minimum
Hamas or
amount of
not?
innocent people
Okay,
possible
gentlemen,
to
Patrick,
achieve
when we
the
started
objective.
this conversation,
Sure.
you talked about you being the harbinger of social justice. You don't sound like you're a very just man.
I would disagree. I would wholeheartedly disagree.
Well, you know, you've already told me that you don't think a load of hostages should be released. Yet you also say that you're for.
No, I
social
said it's more
justice. You're an
nuanced than
absolute-
that, and you
you're an
forced an
absolute
answer, a
hypocrite.
yes or no
You're an
answer, which we know
absolute
that these
bloody
conversations are yes or no
hypocrite.
He said there should be
conversations.
conditions.
Patrick, you're a hypocrite and you should be bloody ashamed of yourself. Thanks for contributing. It was entertaining, even if it was ridiculous and pathetic. We're going to a break.
James Whale unleashed on talk.
Investing with AJ Bell feels so good. You'll just want to ring that bell anywhere.
Patrick, thanks for coming on.
Sure, thank
In
you.
the office, in the pub,
Thanks,
on the
bye.
bus, on a ship, on a train, in the rain, in the gym, in the library, at a wedding,